Would you like to see the alignments and the aspects we're talking about this week? Well, check out the weekly overview on the funastrology.com YouTube channel. A picture really is worth 1,000 words. Welcome to the Fun Astrology Tuesday, September 10th podcast. Thomas Miller here. Thank you for joining us. Why don't we hop in our Fun Astrology helicopter and go up to 10,000 feet, and let's take a look at this eclipse coming up next week. Yesterday, we pretty well covered everything for this week. Not a complicated week in the sky for sure. Let me remind you again that our Level Up, our Sunday night meditation, begins this Sunday again at 8 p.m. The focus this time will be on prosperity and how we can thrive in any kind of condition. We're not going to worry about the economy. We're going to create our own prosperity, just like both of these folks did over the last, well, their work encompasses a total of like 120 years or something, a long time combined. Now, we are in eclipse season, so next Tuesday the 17th is the first eclipse. That's going to be a lunar eclipse. It's on the full moon. It happens in the sign of Pisces at 25 degrees. The moon will enter Pisces on Monday. Will be opposite the sun, which of course is in Virgo, and they will be at 25 degrees, 40 or 41 minutes. The best thing to do for any eclipse is I like to go to timeanddate.com, but there are several sites that have good information. At the top of timeanddate.com for this eclipse page, they have an animation that shows you how much of the Earth will be under the Earth's penumbra and then how much will be under the umbra. This is mostly just a shadow, thus the partial, but the graphic is great on Time and Date. With eclipses, you always have to put your location in to get the specific numbers of when it peaks in your area. But the exact time of the full moon is going to be 10:34 Tuesday night. Of course, that's Eastern time zone. You'll have to join Lucky Stars to find out how Kristin has this day slotted next week. Might surprise you how she has it from a lucky perspective. As soon as you sign up, you get the videos, so that's right at the top of funastrology.com, that link to join. But one thing I really like about the chart is there is a great big kite in the chart for the partial eclipse / full moon. And in addition to the sun and the moon, it encompasses most of the outer planets that are changing signs. The only one left out of this is Jupiter, which is, well, it's not left out. It's in its own aspects, but it's probably good it's not part of the kite because the eclipse itself is expanded enough. But we have Pluto and Neptune and broadly Saturn and Uranus and the Sun. So a lot of these changes that are afoot and underway. And by the way, as these planets move into position, these 5 outer planets that are changing signs, you're going to have all of them at one point parked at, well, most of them at 29 degrees. And that's going to portend a challenge into next year. In ancient astrology, in the Egyptian terms system, and that's something that you'll kind of have to just look up. It's another way of just dissecting each sign. In that old system, everything that moves out of a sign in that subdivision of the sign encounters either Mars or Saturn, which of course in ancient astrology were the two malefics. If you're born with 29 degrees, you know how that has been for you in your life, how it has unfolded with certain hurdles and challenges. I mean, we all have things built into our charts to make us grow. But as these 5 planets begin to change signs, and it's almost like this eclipse with this kite, which I think is going to positive, is these changes ahead ultimately are going to be positive. How the collective, and even how you and I, respond to the rumblings is going to make the difference of how we experience the changes. That will be on a personal basis and a collective basis. But broadly, typically, I guess cookbook you could say, a 29-degree planet gives hurdles to clear. So next Tuesday's eclipse, among other things, and as I mentioned yesterday, Jenny is going to be here with her thoughts, which I can't wait to hear. I just love when she pops in as well. But one of the things that I think is so cool about this eclipse is this big kite, which is indicating hold the faith. This is for our good as these changes start to unfold. It really is, because as you think about the 18-month cycle of eclipses in general, if this eclipse next week was the beginning and you forward 18 months, then we're basically through all of the 5 planetary sign changes. Not quite, but close. So I definitely think there is a correlation. Now, will you be feeling this eclipse? How far ahead? I think depends obviously on how sensitive you are to these things. It's a week from today. Typically, a full moon is thought to have an effect about 3 days on either side. And because of the configurations in your own chart, you might be more sensitive to eclipses. Or you might just be anyway. What I would be doing this week, especially with what we talked about yesterday and the energies that are with us from yesterday, especially the aspect coming up on Sunday with the 2 benefics in a positive aspect. I can tell you what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a lot of journaling on what I want the future of this post 5 planets changing signs era, as Ray Merriman calls it, AIRA, or the Aries vortex point with Saturn and Neptune hitting this point of the world point of new beginnings. What are you creating with your intentions? And what do you want to walk away from this with? The opportunities are going to be abundant. I mean, just incredible, of both spiritual and just interpersonal physical development. The technological explosion, but also the authoritarian control that's already showing up in so many places. So we're going to have both. How do you want to experience this? How do you want your life to unfold through these times? I think that's a key focus as we look at the energy of this eclipse. Have a great day. Back with Elisa tomorrow. Can't wait to hear her thoughts on the Sun-Jupiter square, and we will do that in the morning. Have a great day. Bye-bye.